Go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live.
Just made it back in time. Hello, not Block Talk Radio. Hello, YouTube. How is everyone doing today? And once again, welcome to your kindness of tuning in to the book of Revelation so that we could talk and discuss some things. So cool. And thank you. I just can't thank you enough if I can keep offering that up. I just need to move some things around. Hold on a second, because my nerves are bad. All right, hold on a second. I just want to charge my iPad over here. There's so much that I want to do, everyone, and sometimes when I want to do something, I actually wind up doing nothing for a very long, long time. But there is this book of herbs that I am dying to write, and I've been dying to write it since before I came out here. I started the book maybe in June, July. I think I started the book in June, maybe before then even. I can't remember. But I brought the books out here, started it again, and then I just let it sit. So I was looking at it today, and I always listen to Spirit, and I feel like Spirit was saying, get back to your herbal books. Get back to your herbal books. I'm gonna get back to it because there's just a lot of things that and the herbal books are going to be for candle magic only for candle magic, okay? And it's just so you can start looking at herbs that you have in your area and start looking through the book and picking out what types of herbs would be good for your candle magic. Especially if you want to do candle magic on yourself, for yourself, in the privacy of your space and your metaphysical growth. All right. Let me see if Melissa's here before I get this party started. Okay, she's not on yet. All right. So how has everyone's week been? How's everyone's week been? Let me just say hi to everyone. Hi, Sabrina, and hi, Sophia. How are you guys today? Oh, I'm feeling well. Thank you, Sophia. Aw. I'm feeling so calm, but how could you not feel calm when all I did was sleep? I've been sleeping since like before May 1st. I wake up my normal time, which I rather wake up early. I rather wake up at 6, but I don't. I get up at 7. And I'm taking a nap again by 1. Like, it's hilarious. And I could sleep for 2 hours. But it's been going on like every day. Wednesday, I was fine without taking a nap because I was out and about. And I think that may have helped my energy. I do have vitamins that have B12 in it. But now I'm looking for vitamins that have magnesium in it. But I specifically looked for vitamins that had some B12. I can't take a lot of big B12 because then I'll be like wanting to sleep, but my body will be like, stay awake, you must stay awake. I've done that with just taking B12, and it's worse than caffeine for me. So My next, and I only take gummy bears because regular vitamins. I I tell you guys all the time. I have a small throat, right? Which is why I cannot do oral sex because my throat is too small, and so I can't even take like pills. Like gummy bears are the thing. Um, so I'm looking for gummy bears that has magnesium and B12 in it. Why is that hard to find? I don't know. Maybe it just needs to get two different types of um, stuff. Maybe that's it. But multivitamins are so expensive. Does anybody else take a multivitamin? They're so damn expensive. Oh, LaShonda, I'm sorry you've been in a lot of pain. I'm grateful for a beautiful morning. It is a beautiful morning. What state do you live in? Let me know what state you live in. But it's beautiful over here, too. I saw a red sky this morning. Oh, man, that was beautiful. Yeah. I'm sorry you're in a lot of pain, sweetie. Oh, I gotta get my Bible. I gotta get my Bible. What am I doing? And thank you for tuning in, everyone. This is so honored. Maybe I misunderstood Melissa. Let me make sure I didn't misunderstand her. Doo, 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 doo. I know she's not doing. Should have access. I know she's not doing her show today. She's got some Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, Lashonda. She's got some amazing family business and she has a job to do. So she's going to do her job for her family. She's going to do who she is for her family. And I honor that they honor her gift. I love that. All right, this won't come off. Too tired to care. I knew that was going to happen. Let me get my Bible. Let me make a cup of coffee too. I don't know why I didn't do that. Coffee and Bible. I know this is going to sound crazy, but I just found out how to make my cinnamon melt in the coffee. Just figured it out. Not the brightest person this side of Texas. I tried, but the brains aren't always, I'm not always together in one good spirit. But I just found out how to make my cinnamon melt. I'm happy about that. Not too much. Too much. I also just made a batch of health candles with a new dye. So I have to test every batch. So I'm about to test this little batch right here. And if it burns well, we are on and cracking with getting the health candles out the way. Wait, okay, let's see. Oh, wait. Hold on, Melissa. If I only had a brain. Boom, 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 boom. Studio, I'm going to get Melissa Burton on right now while my coffee's cooking. Come on. Oh, work with me. Good health, Melissa.
Good health, Lori.
How are you?
Good health, Lori. How are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Oh, no. Well, right now it's sprinkling outside, and I took a little pooch outside, and it wasn't I don't know. We just been getting like with the rain,
Yes.
and it's been humid.
It's humid. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's humid, and also I was talking to you about like during the week how I had the whole thing with the birds dying.
Yeah.
And how a little girl, one of my neighbors, a little girl, a bird fell out of the tree or whatever and it died or whatever, right?
Yeah.
The little girl picked up the bird.
I know.
The little girl picked up the baby bird and
Dead.
brung it to me.
Dead.
And I was like, oh. I was like, oh, I just said, oh, poor birdie and stuff. And her mom was just saying to tell the daughter to put it back down and just pray for it.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
Yeah. What's the symbolism in the dead birds this week?
I don't know. And you know what, too?
Mm-hmm.
I found a dead bird right in front of the house I live in.
Yeah.
With the dove.
Yeah, you said that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What's the symbolism? I mean, is there something going on in the air? Like, is the birds trying to tell us something?
Well, I think it was 1 month ago or 2 months ago. Remember, I still have it, but I took a picture of an owl.
An owl, yes.
Yeah. And that owl was in the daytime. And it flies. It was flying low.
Uh-huh.
And it was standing by the door of a foot doctor place.
You're breaking up, Melissa.
I'm breaking up?
Yes.
Hold on.
Okay.
Can you hear me better?
Doctor shortage in
Yes.
the United States.
Much better.
Oh, you say yes?
Yes, thank you. Are you there, sweetie? Oh, I wonder if I lost her. Oh, yep, I did lose her.
Yeah, my phone just decided that it wants to do the Mercury retrograde stuff, right?
Yeah, because I was
It's
saying.
hilarious.
Yeah, because you never break up. And I was like, you're breaking up. And then you just left. You just disappeared. So what were you saying about the owl?
Yeah, I was talking about the owl. Yeah, I see. I got an echo.
There's no echo.
Hold on, let me see. Maybe I don't need my
There's no echo.
Oh, you can hear me?
Uh-huh. I can hear you.
Okay. All right. So I don't know. Mercury retrograde is like sliding. First my body aches.
Yes.
The birds.
Yes.
But I remember I showed you a picture of the owl because I was like, why? I only seen the owl one time.
Yeah.
The first time I seen the owl is when my mom found out I was pregnant. That's when she seen the owl.
Oh, that's so funny, Melissa.
Mhm.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and not only that, but it was like during that time while my mom found out I was pregnant, there were 2 white owls,
Mm-hmm.
and one owl had got hit by a car,
Mm.
and the other one was crying
Mm.
for the owl.
Oh, that's so sad.
Mhm. I know.
That's the saddest ever. When animals know.
When they know, yes. And from there, when my daughter was born, everybody bought her stuff for owls, and they never knew what its significance was. It, you know, it's cute.
Yeah. But it really had meaning for you.
Mhm.
I love that.
Yeah. And what was I about to say, Tracy? I hope that everybody wanted to go watch your show last night with the Super Sidekicks.
Oh, Melissa, it was so
It was a great
good.
show last night.
You guys are so good. Let me just let everyone know that we did a show last night, Super Psychic show on Kevin Samuel's girlfriend. And, you know, there was some debate as to whether or not she should be called a girlfriend, but, you know, I'm old school, so I feel like if you sleep with me, you my boyfriend, right? I'm old school, right? So that was the first thing that was in the feed. She's not a girlfriend. It's like, child, are you a girlfriend? Like, what are we complaining about, right?
Right? You know, some people probably got very offended.
Yes. They
didn't get the word for a girlfriend themselves.
Exactly. People got offended. And I'm like, relax, people. Like, none of it is that big of a deal. I promise you. And, but we, you know, it was a good show. We had you and we had Beautiful Conundrum, right? But they have seen you and Beautiful Conundrum do your work before, so they know how good y'all are, right? But
right.
Then we added Tosha, and she did.
Tosha, shout out to Tosha.
Shout out to Tosha. She did a great job. You know. And then we had Paula, who's been on one time before, but she fit right in yesterday. And with the 4 of us, it was just a good show.
It was a good show. I loved everybody's part. It just makes me I was like, I gotta watch that.
Hey, Musings by Manifa, who was on the show last night. This is Tosha. Her name on the show is Musings by Monifa. Hi. She says, hey, guys. Hi. And I want you all to come in for... Melissa, did I disconnect you again? Oh, are you there, Melissa?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. I want you guys to come in for tomorrow because we're going to see who's going to win Johnny Depp or Amber Heard.
Ooh, that's going to be juicy.
That's going to be juicy. I also like that we do the...
You know what?
Go ahead, Melissa. I got to get my book.
Oh, no, go ahead, Tracy.
Oh, I was just going to say, I also like the way, like, we're the only ones doing a super psychic event, you know? Nobody does what we do. You know what I mean, Melissa? you got to get up pretty early in the metaphysical morning to do what we do.
Absolutely.
You got to be on the purple brick road to do what we do.
Absolutely. And you know what? I love the fact that we don't have fun. We laugh like this. They don't understand. We laugh like this all day long.
What you say, Melissa?
I said even if we had so much fun last night, we laugh like this all the time.
I can't understand you. Forgive me, sweetie.
Oh. Can you hear me now? No, I was saying that you know, we had so much fun last night, but we laugh like this all the time.
Yes.
People don't understand. We can talk. We can talk.
Yes. When you come into group on Wednesdays, all we do is talk. And sometimes we just talk shit. It's not even about metaphysical, but it is metaphysical crap, right? It's just like we're not gossiping.
You're right.
That's not what the group is about. But sometimes we just talk mess. But it's all metaphysical, but this group loves to talk, child. Now, y'all know if you can make me quiet, y'all are talkers. But this past Wednesday, I felt like I was on one. I felt I was more excitable this past Wednesday.
You know what? I love Wednesdays.
Yeah.
You know, it just felt like it's the best time of the week.
And you know what I also love about it? It's a nice hump day, right? Like, it'll get you through the rest of the week. Instead of doing it on Fridays when everybody's like exhausted, thank God it's Friday. You know, we do it in the middle of the week, so it actually regenerates you for getting through the rest of the week. Hi, Tiffany Intuition.
Hey, Tiffany.
But getting back to the dead birds, Sophia said COVID is in the air, so maybe that's a sign, Melissa. What do you think? You know,
I mean, I do hear that in the hospitals.
What's happening at the hospitals?
That's getting high, the COVID.
Yes. So that you're saying the hospitals are, the hospital beds are filling up again. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah. Because one of my friends work at the hospital, and she's like, she said it's getting bad again.
Oh my God.
You know what? I think that they should have just, especially when it comes to children, they should just let them consume the whole year.
Yep.
You know, people they know when school's open, they make money.
Yep.
They don't make money when school's not open.
There are so many different ways that they could organize this. Come on. This is bullshit, Melissa. I'm just kind of, I don't know. They're just like, oh, you must have the vaccine. You must have the vaccine. And in the same breath, you know, you're not protecting the kids.
No. And I realize for like the old people, they get the vaccine, but there's still a 50% chance that they're going to die from natural causes anyway.
Yeah.
So it don't make no sense giving it to them.
Well, they're actually experimenting on them, Melissa.
I know they're experimenting on that. They're definitely doing that.
That's all they're doing is experimenting on them, and that shit is not right, Melissa.
Nope, it's not right at all. Oh, Tracy.
What's up?
You know what I seen this morning? I tried to send it in the feed.
What's that?
I was watching on an Instagram post that, well, it was a video or whatever.
Yeah.
A lady was talking about the abortion.
Yeah.
Right? How, like, some of the places that how it's, you know, they have the abortion law.
Yeah.
And she was saying because there's a lot of people out there that want to adopt babies, and right now the number for that is like low 0. Like they can't adopt.
Pause.
No one's having babies. Teen pregnancy.
Really?
Mhm.
Hmm.
So I was watching that for a little bit. I was like, I said, Spirit ain't showing me nothing for no reason. I was like, you know what? And you know, most of the majority of people that do adopt, you know, they want to have an infant. They don't want to have an older child. They want a newborn.
Yep. They do.
So if you think about it, it's like if people can't have abortions, that means that people that run those places to take the adoption agency, it'd be a way for them to make money. And then the government makes money too.
So are you saying that's why they're stopping the abortions?
No, I see why they want it to go through.
They're trying to stop people.
It's all a money making thing, because if you can't get an abortion, that means even if you can't afford it, they could be like, oh well, you know, just put the baby for foster care, adoption.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like trying to make a money system booming again.
Yeah. Well, you know, Catholic churches has always made money off of children. Always. Always. My brother was adopted through something called Catholic Charities. And Catholics have always made money off of children. Always. I don't know.
I never knew it was a big business.
It's a huge business. Always. They've always made money off of children. And to be honest with you, they did not always do a good job. Right? They did not always do a good job. Look at the Native American children that were died and buried. You know, I forget what's in Canada. You know, it's bullshit. But adoption and all that stuff always has been a moneymaker. Always. Yep. So you're right, Melissa. And they'll be like, oh, don't worry, you know, you can always put the baby up for adoption. Yep.
It's like a whole big, it's almost like a big con scheme.
It is, Melissa. It is. It is, I promise you. It is. The adoption business. They also did it, you know, when Haiti had their big earthquake going back a few years. They were quick to run over to Haiti and try and snatch up those babies for adoption. And the Haiti government had to stop it. They were like, no one takes a baby out of here.
Wow.
But they went over with, you know, the charitable people. Oh, we're going to come and save the babies. And the president was like, I think the one that just got shot. He was like, no one takes a baby out of here. And that was a good thing because you don't always know what happens to the babies later. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody gets adopted. And they throw away history. Let me tell you something. They will throw away your family history on a dime. Yep. My brother just found his
Terrible,
mother.
you know?
My brother just found his mother last year. Yeah. And
You know, I think it's good to know your. I think it's good to know your history if you're adopted.
What you say?
Oh, let me see. This one. I said that it's good to know your history when you're adopted.
Yeah. They have,
you know, especially your health history.
All of it. They have later on, because, you know.
It's so important.
Yeah, it is. You know, my brother was adopted under an old Catholic Charities system, right? With them saying,
right,
to know your mother's information, your father's information is more detrimental. That if you're going into a new home, just assimilate into the new home. It wasn't until all these children were grown and they started, like, first of all, many of them did not have good adopted families. Let's just start there. Second of all, they're like feeling like something's missing. And third of all, I think one of the biggest components was their health history. Like you said, Melissa. So they started fighting and changing the laws, you know? And the laws got changed. So a lot of people would go into adoption with the full knowledge, like, I can still visit my child, or, you know, I always have to know where you're living to the parents, you know? So a lot has changed over the years, except that my brother got stuck in a system that they refused to change. And in February of 2020, New York State opened up all the records. They were like, adoption records are open. And that was in February. And my brother was like, bet, I'm going to go down to Vital Records and I'm going to see who my mother is, right? And then the census, and then COVID hit and all the offices were closed down. So the next best thing that he could think of was to do an Ancestry DNA. And when he did that, a cousin showed up, and the cousin was like, because everybody knew the story, so it wasn't, thank God, it wasn't a secret. And a cousin showed up, and he was like, let me talk to my mom. And then my brother spoke to his mom's sister, his aunt. And then he finally got in touch with his mom. And I don't mean it that way. I don't mean finally, but I mean finally by way of he was 50, right? Because the Catholic charity system said, we're never going to tell you who your mother is. Like, that is fucked up, guys. That's fucked up. But as life would have it, he found his mom, and she's amazing, and she looks exactly like him. Exactly. My brother has this lazy...
I love that. It's like, you know what? It's like he went at the right time. Like, everything was set up.
You know? You gotta respect, like, the timing of it all. His mother's amazing. She wound up getting her master's degree at, like, 69 or something. Like, she's amazing. And he spent Mother's Day, his first Mother's Day, with his mom.
Oh.
Yeah. And then my
Were you?
my sister-in-law, she posted,
Yeah.
I had an amazing day with my in-laws. And it took me aback a little bit, right? Because you're not accustomed to things, right? Because her in-laws were always my parents.
Right.
And then I was like, wow, look at that. Look at that. Like, yeah, she has in-laws. Again. It's also. And it's perfect
Well,
timing.
anybody that's listening.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Melissa. For anybody that's listening, go
No, I
ahead.
was saying if anybody's listening, they can go and actually should go do the Ancestry thing.
There's
Especially if you're, especially if you was, in foster care and stuff.
Yeah, there's hope, Melissa, and I can only testify the hope that came through my brother. There's hope, and there's amazing hope out there, and Ancestry can clear the air. It can clear some things up, which, Melissa, I'm still trying to find out if we're relatives, right? I'm going to find that out if it kills me. We are relatives by way of something.
I really think so.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know, Tracy?
Huh?
I said, like, one of my cousins is named after my grandma on my side, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she owns that honey pot thing. The pads.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she was named after my grandma, and I never knew that. So it's like I have a big family.
Yeah.
But I don't know everybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's honey pot though? You're confusing me.
That's the one that does like the pack.
I don't know what pack. What pack you talking about?
The honey pot. It's or do I call it honey pot?
Send me something. I feel like you told me about it, and I just don't have memory of it, Melissa.
Okay.
Send me something.
Yeah, she does she has like her stuff like in Target and stuff like that, but it's called the honey pack. The honey pot, or getting cotton herbal pad that you can wear.
Oh.
I feel
like I've seen that advertised. Tiffany says it's a popular hygienic brand. Oh.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, Melissa.
So it's like you just never know how big your family is. So
Let me tell you something. You look like my cousin Rose.
I love that.
Yes. I'm like, I know she has to be family. We're going to figure it out. Someday, like when it's perfect timing, right? I told you, maybe, Tiffany doesn't know. So, Tiffany, I'm always talking to people on St. Croix, and everybody's like, what brings you here? And I was always like, I was trying to get to St. Thomas. My grandmother's from St. Thomas. So they're like, why are you here? And I go, I don't know. You have to ask God. I was trying to get to St. Thomas. The Airbnb was cheaper in St. Croix. So I just figured I would walk over to St. Thomas. I didn't know that it was a 2-hour ferry ride. And so when I got here, I realized I was on the wrong island. And I was trying to get over to St. Thomas, but at the time, the Airbnbs were packed. So I can only get over for like 2 or 3 days, but that's not enough time to find an apartment. Ultimately, where I had the Airbnb, an apartment showed up. And I said, okay, God, you've made it effortless. I was trying to get to St. Thomas, but something in St. Croix opened up. I'm not going to worry about it. I will stay here, right, in St. Croix. So I secure the apartment. I go back home. I clean out my apartment. I come back to St. Croix. Everybody asks, what are you doing here? I don't know. I have no idea. And I'm like I'm feeling a little bit out of place, right? But I know God has me here for a reason, because God don't make no mistakes, right? And so my grandfather is Puerto Rican, and I was in a taxi, and the taxi driver was something Spanish. I don't know where he was from, but Spanish background. And he goes, "You speak Spanish?" And I go, "No." I said, "But my grandfather's Puerto Rican, and it is one of my regrets." So I pull up my ancestry for some reason to prove to him that my grandfather's Puerto Rican. I said, "I've got 1/8 Puerto Rican in me." I get out and I hear Spirit say, "Check it again." So I sit down somewhere and I look at the ancestry and I'm focusing on my grandfather, and I can see where he arrived in Puerto Rico at 1917, right? And I think San Juan, Puerto Rico. And I'm like, okay, get it. Right above it, I'm not looking, but right above it, it says born ABT. So I assume that's born about. And it says 1907, St. Croix, Frederiksted. And it brought me to tears that God knew that this was where I was supposed to be. Like, I'm not foreign to St. Croix. My granddad's DNA is here. And he spent 10 years here. I had always heard he was from Puerto Rico. Now, whether or not his mom is from Puerto Rico is a different story, because in the islands, there's so many different island cultures here. So she could have come here, met her dude, went back home. When I say to people what my granddad's last name is, they're not shocked. There's like, oh, there's so many Williams. So many. They're like, be careful who you date. There's so many Williams. So I'm supposed to be right. I was meant to be here. Who knew? Mm-hmm. And I say that to say your ancestry DNA can really pick up on some things. Melissa, you should do Ancestry. Mm-mm. Oh my God, did I lose Melissa again?
No, I said I should do that.
Yeah, you should.
No.
You should do Ancestry.
And see, because my mom did the Ancestry thing.
Your
And
mom
did? Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And find out more about, like, you got to find out more about her family. And my grandma's alive. And my grandma was like telling my mom, "Why do you care about that for? They're all dead." I'm like, this is how what old people talk like, you know?
I know. It's so funny. I know. And yet, Melissa, they get over to the other side and they try to speak to us. It's like, no, you were supposed to speak to me when I was here. And you were here.
It's so hilarious, but I would definitely do it.
Yeah.
I know my mom did first, and she got to find out more about her family, because she has family in Panama and Barbados.
Oh.
So she has different places, and then other places too.
Yeah. Where's your dad from? Because I think we might be related through your dad.
I think my dad's family is from the Caribbean too. They're from Caribbean, I think.
Okay.
I have to ask.
Okay.
And they're down south people as well.
Yeah, I think it might be
From
via
what I
down
found
south.
out.
Yeah. It might be via down south. depending upon who's his parents, you know?
Yeah, and and I got to find out that his dad was a person that loved to play golf.
Mm.
So I thought that was a little different to me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I also found out that there's a... What you say, Melissa?
I said one day we're going to have a conversation with him to see what more he knows about his dad.
Listen,
You know?
Melissa.
I know a little bit, but not too much.
Melissa, make him take a DNA test. Say, hey, Dad, just spit in this, please.
Mm.
Make him take a DNA test. And everything will be preserved. And put it to your email address.
True.
Yeah, and put it to your email address, not to his.
Mm-hmm.
I'm dead serious.
That's a good idea.
I'm dead serious. I would prefer his DNA first. Shoot. But listen, Melissa, I'm sorry to say to everyone, but, you know, we don't have much left with Revelations. We're almost done
Well, you know what?
With Revelations, yeah?
Almost done. Well, we can always, you know, if anybody wants to ever talk about anything, you know, we'll be there.
Well, I'm wondering if if you want to go over The Alchemist after this. I know you finished it, right?
Oh, the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, I finished The Alchemist book.
Yeah. Oh, Tiffany goes, let's do Psalms.
That was a pretty good book.
We can actually, how about, maybe not Psalms, how about Proverbs, Tiffany? How about if we discuss a proverb and then read a book? And she says, yes, The Alchemist. Okay. So everyone, get your book, The Alchemist, because when we finish here, we're going to move on to the next book.
Yeah.
All right.
I love that.
Right.
There's always like something interesting in reading. You know what book I'm reading right now? I'm reading Mariah Carey's memoir.
Oh.
And I have to see why she got the breakdown. Yeah, her childhood was really fucked up. And I was just like, wow, it was a lot going on.
Yeah.
For her.
You know.
But I didn't, you know, like when you get into it, it's like a really deep childhood.
Yeah.
I didn't finish reading it yet, but I think it's a good read if anybody wants to read that too, because and I see why she became like she's good with writing.
Yeah.
You know, because she writes songs, so it's like kind of like whatever she went through, it was made into a song and stuff like that.
Yeah. She wrote all her songs.
Her brother and sister, woo, they were bad.
Yeah. I don't think she talks to them to this day.
You know what? I mean, like, when I was reading in the book and stuff, it just showed, like, I could say one time, like, in the book, she was maybe, I don't know how old she was, but she was still a little girl.
Yeah.
And her sister was hanging out with a pimp and stuff, you know, her sister was older, hanging out with a pimp or whatever.
Yeah.
So one day the pimp came to the house to go get the girl, to go get her.
Yeah.
And drove her somewhere.
Yeah.
Drove her to a place where they have like the little video where you could do the screen to watch the movie. And she was just, an old man was watching and be like, why is that man being so close to a little girl like that?
Mm.
And I don't know if because of what the guy looked at him, but it made him take her back home.
Oh. That's the sister, like, or that's Mariah?
That's Mariah.
Mm.
The sister was doing a whole little pimp stuff, and the pimp came over and picked up her sister. I just don't understand. I'm like, I don't know if that, because she was how can I say? She was by herself a lot in the house.
Mariah
or wherever
was.
they lived, because she said a lot of different. But Mariah Carey lived in different places as a child. She never stayed in one place to live. It was just always little by little they were different. And she talked about how she never got her hair combed.
I could see that.
Because her mother never did her hair.
She must have been really.
You know, because you got to
really
get thinking about your hair's different texture and everything. Yeah.
She must have been so poor. That is so sad.
It's about how she was like in Long Island.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, she was on Long Island. Oh, that makes sense. There's
She lived in Long Island.
So many parts of Long Island, especially back in the day. I can't testify to today. They were poor. It was almost like they put them, I'm putting that in quotes, they put them over there and forgot about them. And they were poor in Long Island. Yep. I forget.
And she said where they stayed at, it was like almost like a shack.
Yep.
Like it was raggedy, they were saying. Or she was saying that she can remember.
I believe it. I mean, I'm telling you, I believe it so much. There's a part of Long Island that Babylon, Long Island was dirt poor. Yep. 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 Yeah. No kidding. Yep. Dirt poor. Wow.
Yeah, it was just a lot of different things, and her sister, one time her sister took boiling tea and poured it on Mariah Carey's back, like just threw it.
Oh, that's psychological problems. She might have psychological problems.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was like, that's a lot of stuff.
Huh?
I said, that's a lot of stuff. Like, you know, to go and I'm glad she made a book so people could really see what what it was really like.
Yep. Yep. Sounds like it was pretty sad, Melissa. Lord have mercy.
It was sad. I didn't finish it yet, but it was sad. Like just going through the whole being in the house alone. Yeah. You know, living in in poor areas.
Yeah.
And just
yeah.
She felt like she wasn't home.
Wow.
And then she had to deal with her parents fighting. It was either her parents fighting or the sibling, the brother. The brother was crazy a little bit. From in the book.
Yeah.
From like him fighting the father, him hitting his mother.
The brother hit the mother? The brother hit...
Because he wanted the car keys, right? Because he wanted to go out with his friends with his mother's car.
Yeah.
Mariah Carey's mother said no. So he decided that he was going to knock his mother out. I don't know how he did it, but he hit his mother, and she was unconscious on the floor. He took the keys and went about his business.
He knocked his mother out? Melissa, I can't even fathom that. That is crazy to me. I can't. I will not even deal with that. That is crazy.
I don't know if it was a push or a knock, but he fought with his mother.
You don't touch your mother.
She was on the floor. She was unconscious.
Oh, shit.
Unconscious, and Mariah had to try to learn who number she remember to call. She called her mother's friend to say that her mother is on the floor. She didn't even think her mother was breathing. And she was a little girl watching that happen.
Melissa, you don't hit your mom. Like, no.
I know.
Oh, that makes me sick to my stomach. Like, no.
And I see why she don't not have them like around, like you don't see them in no pictures or anything like that.
Oh my.
You know, I mean, look at the sister and brothers around her.
Yeah.
She pushed that away. Yeah.
You don't hit your mom. I'm like appalled at what I'm hearing right now. Oh my God. I told you my son tried that one day. He wasn't trying to hit me, of course. But I was like yelling and screaming at him. And I saw him come toward me. And it was like in slow motion, right? And I was like, is this boy trying to intimidate me? I knew he wasn't going to hit me. But I was like, is this boy trying to intimidate me? So I decided to see what he would do, right? And he got real close up to me. And he looked down on me. And I've never really seen my son grown that way. He might have been 16 years old. And I thought, he has to die. He has to die. I don't know where I got this superhuman strength. I grabbed that little nigger so fast, the neck, grabbed him at his waist, picked him up, and threw him down on my coffee table. And I said, don't you ever challenge me like that ever again. I will gladly go to jail. And my neighbor heard the crashing of the table, and my neighbor was like, what's going on? What's going on? And then that's when I started crying. I didn't realize what had happened, and I started crying. I was like, my son thought that he could come up in my face. And he was like, get out here right now. I've never had men not protect me. He was like, get out here right now. And took my son and had a good talking with him. I don't know what he told the boy, but neither do I care. But it was beautiful. I was like, he was going to die. And I would gladly have gone to jail. They'd have been like, what did you do? Kill him? Your son? Yes. He got up in my face. You don't do that. Boom. Dead. Now, the thing that could have also happened, because I crashed the table, is that anything could have wound up in his back. I could have broke his neck. I could have, like his head, anything, right? So he better be glad he had angels protecting him. He better be glad. I know my angels.
Oh, yes, he did. But you know what? They were saying, don't mess with your mother like that.
Don't mess with your mother. Do we love her? Don't mess with your mother. And let me tell you something. I swear to God, I don't even believe it was me. To this day, I say something was inside of me. So I feel like one of my spirit guides, my dad, my mom, I don't know, came inside of me and picked him up. We all were going to meet our maker, all of us. Nope. And right after that, he left my house. Yeah, right after that, he left my house. And I said to him, I was like, do you want to be here? And he's like, I don't. And I was like, baby, go. The door's right there. He's 19 years old. You want to show your ass? You can't show your ass in here. You come home every day, you got rules. Which reminds me, Melissa, I was going to tell you that you have an amazing mom. You know what I mean? Because your brother is just...
I'm still bad. I was bad, though, but,
Well, we're all bad, right? But she's still an amazing mom. Because for your brother to just leave the house, right? Like, that says a lot about her, too. Children are going to be bad, right? But it just matters on how do you come back around. How do you come back around? So I just want to give your mom her props because the brother's just leaving. Is that the one that travels?
Well, yeah, he travels. Well, you know what? The one that travels, he left already. But stuff maybe I'm gonna say maybe like in his early 20s, but he was with the same girl the whole time.
That's
so this time
beautiful.
we get to you know, try to get to be like a lot more closer to her.
Yes.
And you know what's funny? She's my mom's sign.
What's your mom's sign?
I said, Capricorn.
Oh.
Capricorn.
Okay.
And I said, I see. You know, sometimes the men, you know, they date some stuff. You know, sometimes they date the sign of their mother. Sometimes.
But they date who they know. Sometimes that's a good thing, Melissa. Sometimes it ain't. But they do date who they know. Mm-hmm. All right. Shall we get some revelations out the way, sweetie?
Sure.
So I think...
You know what? I don't know what...
Go ahead.
We were on 18 or 19?
20. Remember we bound Satan for 1,000 years? We got all through 20. So now we're on 21.
Oh, that was good.
That was so good. Last week's episode of Revelations. Woo, child, it was good.
Just knowing that God does magic, oh my gosh. I was like, let me just sit there and watch how you do everything.
Well, remember, we're all in the likeness of God, right?
Right.
And you pointed that out. I didn't pick up on it. You were very good. It was like, Tracey, did God do a binding spell? And I'm like, oh, shit. Yeah, he did. I was cracking up, Melissa. I was cracking up. I was like, wow, that's a unique perspective. And you know what? It made me feel better about doing magic, right? Of course, you know we do it for the greater good, but it made me feel better.
Good, yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. I'm just so glad that we're reading Revelation.
He did it for the greater good too.
Ah, repeat that, Melissa.
God did it for the greater good too.
Yes, he did. Oh, damn it. Yes, he did, Melissa.
Wow.
And that is beautiful. All right now. So let's get this party started.
All right.
We're on Revelation 21. And Musings by Monifa said she's a huge fan of Mariah and she will be getting the book. Thanks, Melissa, she says.
Oh, you're welcome, Monifa. It's a good book.
Uh-huh.
I feel like she went into a lot of detail, and I think that it's good when someone can open up like that.
It is, yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're on Revelation 21.
Yes.
Let me know when you're ready to read.
I'm ready.
Okay. It says, all things made new.
Mm-hmm.
Now I saw a heaven and a new earth.
Mm.
For the first heaven and first earth had passed away. There was no more sea. Then I, John, saw the holy city, Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, preparing as a bird,
bride,
abdored for her husband.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard a loud voice from heaven saying, "Behold, the turbulence."
Tabernacle.
Oh, it's tabernacle of God. It is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people. God himself will be with them and be their God.
Okay, hold on, Melissa.
And God will whip.
Melissa, let's look at that for a minute. Right from the first part,
Right.
God says, "Now I saw a new." This is John. John says, "Now I saw a new heaven and a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth passed away." Do you understand? So there's something, and I keep going back to the dinosaur era, everyone. You know, if we truly had dinosaurs here, and they had to die, right? Right? And did we have dinosaurs and people as big as dinosaurs, right? And everyone had to die, then are we a part of the new earth from back in that time? Do you understand? Are we a part of a new essence, right? And so, because remember, the first time God did this, right, is when he cleaned the earth out with Noah's Ark, right? And so, prior to that, was there a dinosaur era and dinosaur people to be with the big dinosaurs? Did they have to die, right? For a new earth, right? Because there's some confusion with the beginning of the world, right? So the beginning of the world is one thing, but the way the Bible reads it, it's the beginning of the world, and then there was Adam and Eve. And I don't believe that. I think there was the beginning of the world, and then there were dinosaurs. Good morning. And then there were big people here. And I think God was like, I don't know if dinosaurs work. Because in the Bible, there's something missing, right? There's something missing. Because how do we get dinosaurs? But in the Bible, they don't talk about dinosaurs. Right? So something's missing between, right? There's something missing between the
And I wonder how they really got started.
Say that again, Melissa.
They're really real.
Well, I
wonder if some bones are really real.
There is some theories that maybe they aren't real, right? Some people do believe that. Right. But let's say that they are real, right? They're not in the Bible.
Right.
So how could they be real
if they were before the Bible, right?
They would have to be before Adam and Eve. So was there another world and missing history? The way the Bible reads it, first God created day 1, day 2, day 7 he rested. And then God was like, I need people. So let's bring on Adam and Eve. I don't think that's what happened. I think it's time is missing and it got reworded. I think God had something in place here already. Like dinosaurs and like big, 15-foot people. Right? I was reading something.
They would be like almost like giants, right?
Yeah, well, to us would be giants. I was reading something. I didn't even record it. Anunnakis, something about the Anunnakis, which were these huge giant people, right? And if the Anunnakis were here, right, why is that missing? The Anunnakis are real, so why are we missing history? But I also feel like God kept looking at the different forms of creation. And he kept saying, this doesn't work, and this doesn't work, and this doesn't work. And let me dissolve the dinosaurs and the Anunnakis, right? Let me dissolve them and let me create a new earth. See where I'm going with this? And what if...
It's like he wiped everything out, like almost like a purge.
Yes, he wiped everything out. Yes. But the only recorded history that we have of God doing that was Noah's Ark. So we don't have recorded history of God getting rid of the dinosaurs or getting rid of giant people. I'm pretty sure it's called Anunnakis or something like that. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? I can't believe I'm like reading this. And Anunnakis are a group of, Anunnakis are a group of deities of the ancient Sumerians, but they were huge. I think it's them. Let me see. I was just reading this.
I want to know. I mean, are they mixed with the angels? Maybe that's why they had got their height.
No, I think they're what we would call aliens. Do you understand? I think they would be called aliens to us, but normal to themselves. Does that make sense? I'm trying to say.
That makes sense.
So
they're like a different race of people.
Yes.
So they're like almost like alien. Yeah.
To us, but they're not aliens to themselves.
To us, yeah.
I just feel like, you can't have dinosaurs around and little tiny people like you and I. That doesn't work, right?
Right.
So we couldn't have come first if the dinosaurs were here. The dinosaurs would have to have people as big as them. Does that make sense?
Wow, that makes sense.
And I just think as the world evolved, whatever that looks like, right? Because we're talking about years of immeasurable time before the Bible began, before recorded history, right? And so I feel like God was like, okay, the dinosaurs aren't working. They're a hot mess. They fight the Anunnakis. I can't take it. By the way, Anunnakis, how about if I put you on another planet? You know what I mean? Like, I'm really looking at things from where God is like, this isn't my vision for Earth. So he gets rid of the Anunnakis and the dinosaurs have to get killed off. I heard they were killed off by meteor storms, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, hence, Adam and Eve is the next level of God's creation. Not the first level, next level.
The next level.
Next level, right. But the way the Bible describes it, the Bible describes the beginning of creation, right? And then Adam and Eve. But there's something, I believe in the beginning of creation. I don't believe it began with Adam and Eve.
Right. I agree with you with that.
Yeah. And then God was...
had a trial and error.
Trial and error, right. Because remember, if we are in the likeness of God, right? There are so many things that we do in trial and error. So, and we're in the likeness of God. So if I'm doing things in trial and error, then God would have done the same thing too. We're just seeing it on a miniature scale of our humanness. Like I'm making candles today, and I brought a dye, and I'm like, I don't know if I like this dye, and then I'm gonna have to make another batch and see if I like this. Trial and error, right? Why wouldn't God say that when when he's creating the world, right? When he created the dinosaurs, he must have said, wow, this is a great thing. And then he looked at the dinosaurs like, y'all are crazy. Stop it. Stop fighting each other. Stop eating each other. And stop eating the Anunnakis.
They were big.
They were too big.
They were big and they were fighting all the time.
Exactly. Yeah. And so what did God do? He reduced them to crocodiles. Do you understand? Like, so my point to you is...
You know what, Tracy?
Yeah. No, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead, Tracy.
Oh, no, I'm saying my point to you is, in the Bible where it says, with this, the person that's speaking is John, he goes, now I saw a new heaven and a new earth. Right? And a new heaven is also things that's gone wrong in heaven, right? There were angels that came down to watch over the people on the earth, and the angels were like, oh, we like these people on earth, and we want to have sex with them. They went and had sex with them, and they made all these little bird babies, right? So I just feel like heaven is learning things, and earth is like learning things, and God is like, we're going to have to start over, guys. Right? Everyone has to start over. Right? I want a body of heaven people that can take care of earthly people. And Melissa, I'm wondering if the new heaven and the new... Yeah, because then it says... Hold on. Oh, wait. Then it says, then I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem. By the way, I don't think, I got to be honest with you, and I don't know if I'm going to upset people, but I don't know if I care anymore. I don't believe that Jerusalem can maintain the title of God's special people. I'm watching them, and they are being...
I never thought so anyway.
But they are, according to the Bible, meaning you and I are Gentiles. But the Jews are God's special people. Right? And so I don't think they can maintain that status, because in the middle of COVID, all I'm seeing is the Jews kill reporters and annihilate the Palestinians. And I know that that's not what God wants for the Jews to be doing. Because the difference, it's such a long story, but Palestinian and Jews and Turkish, like all these used to be one people. Right, Melissa? So you just keep killing each other, because it's only after the generations come along that people separate and they go, well, I'm Turkish, I'm not Jewish anymore, blah, 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 blah. But the technicality is you all came from the same source. Right? So the Jews hate Palestinians, but Palestinians come from the same source as you from the beginning of time. So aren't they Jewish too? I don't know. Maybe people are going to get mad at me.
You know what, too? When you was talking, I thought of the grapes, the wine that they make, the grapes, the vine of grapes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like no matter what place they live at, they're all divided, that they all come to one when it comes to that grape.
Thank you. Good
those
point.
Those groups of, on the vine.
They're
connected
all
to the same vine.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know.
good point, Melissa. They all like the surrounding communities of Jerusalem, that's a good point. They all came from the same vine. If we were to do a DNA test right now, they would all be related.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. That's a good point. They all come from the same vine, right? And so when John says, you know, I saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband, it feels to me like COVID, because it always seems to go back to COVID. COVID is preparing the earth. The earth is elevating, and COVID is preparing the earth for new heaven, new earth. And it's not just about death. It's death in one form, because God promised never to take us all out at one time. So first it was COVID, and now it's going to be war against nations. So we're just going to take our own selves out at some point, much like the Jews. Yeah, much like the Jews are doing to the Palestinians. We're just going to be taking our own selves out.
It's like war.
Yes. Off the rise.
Between war and COVID, it's like,
yeah.
It's like one by one.
Yes, yes. Until we get new earth. Now, I don't know, Melissa, this could take another century of this, right? I'm not saying this is right now, but I'm wondering if you and I are watching the dismantle of earth for new earth. Right?
Right.
And
you know what, too, Tracy? I love how you talk about the Anunnaki.
Yeah.
Talking about like how God took them and put them on a different planet.
Yeah.
And then took care of the whole dinosaur thing. Like, that is so cool.
Well, here's another theory with that, right?
Oh, see, you got the siren.
Yep. Validation. Yes. Here's another theory with that. They still.
Oh, see?
Yeah, validation. They still don't have a proper explanation for what do you call those things in Egypt?
The pyramids?
The pyramids. They still cannot give a proper description of how the pyramids were made, how yada yada boom boom boom, right? And I think that there were giant people here. Do you understand, Melissa? There were giant people here.
Oh, yeah.
It makes sense if you have giant people here.
Who else can make those?
Who else is going to make a giant pyramid?
Actually,
you think they're going to make a little tiny pyramid that they could just step on? No, they made massive pyramids because there were massive people here on Earth already. You know
what though? Now I'm thinking about that. Like they were probably very good with architect and math.
Yeah, well, yeah, without a doubt. Remember, we're talking about maybe people that were so evolved that it was like a given to be good at math. It was a given for measurements and stuff like that. It was a given to be an engineer. We have to give it a title, but it was who they were, right? And so,
right.
Okay, but again, these are the theories in terms of like, because I remember growing up and I'd be like, how do you not know how the pyramids got here? But they're here. It doesn't make sense to me. They can't just be here.
I never thought about that. Listen, you blew my mind.
Oh, thank you.
I'm like, Anunnaki built that. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
I'm like, why? I'm like, why not?
I'm gonna put it in a feed, and then I'm gonna study that. And all of a sudden, I'm in love with these Anunnaki people, and they were very hairy, Melissa, and they were massive, massive people. There might be a video about it, Anunnakis. They were massive, like massive people. And they were hairy, right? There was no such thing as shaving your beard, right? So they just had these.
I gotta look that up today.
You have to. And then just this week again, I found a video. I talked about it on Tracey Brown Live Talk, where they found the skull of something. It's not human, but the skull is like the size of somebody's apartment. The skull is.
What?
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, I think I'm gonna study the Anunnakis and figure out like they were giants. They were giants. There were giants here. There were giants, people. Giants.
Mm-hmm.
Highly intelligent beings here that mixed with the dinosaurs.
Wow. You know what, too? If I think about it, why did they put cavemen in, right? But cavemen, I don't think cavemen were real.
I don't think so. No.
That's just,
No. You know why they weren't real?
I just think it was a distraction.
Yes. You know why they weren't real? Because apes still exist. So we could never have evolved from an ape if they still exist. I think what we had, Melissa,
Exactly.
I think what we had here was Anunnakis, who were hairy, huge men and women. Do you understand?
I understand.
Thank you. We never evolved from apes. Like, what the hell, people?
No, and I used to hate that term when people used to keep talking about saying, "Oh yeah, we were monkeys before we were this." Like,
No.
get out of here.
No, I agree with you. I remember being like a kid and being like, "That's not true. That's not true. We didn't evolve that way." But when you're teaching, when someone's teaching you, and you're 10, you could be 20. Like, you don't have enough to be like, "Hey, teach, I really don't think you know what you're talking about." You know?
Exactly.
So look up Anunnakis, people. Do you want me to put the how to type it? And let's talk about Anunnakis next week. All right?
Oh, we could do that.
Yeah.
This is so cool. I just love how the timers came on. Like, they're like, "Yep, we on a different planet." Yep. I'm like, wow.
This is how it's spelled.
I definitely believe that we have different planets anyway.
This is how it's spelled, everyone. Anunnakis. Anunnakis. Yeah. All right, Melissa, let's continue on, and thank you for letting us discuss that a little bit.
Sure. All right. Let me see what part I'm at right now. We're on number 5, right?
I think we're just.
I'll start on number 5. On number.
I think.
Where it says, "And God will wipe away every tear from their eyes. Shall there be no more death, nor sorrow, nor crying. There shall be no more pain, for the former things have passed away." Then he who sat on the throne said, Behold, I make all things new.
Mm.
And he said to me, Write, for these words are true and faithful. And he said to me, It is done. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. I will give of the give of the fountain of the water of life freely to him who thirsts.
Yes.
He overcomes shall inherit all things, and will be his God, shall be my son. But the cowardly, unbelieving,
Abominable.
abominable, thank you,
Mm-hmm.
murder, sexual immorality, sorcery,
Uh-huh. Immoral.
You said immoral? Okay. Oh, yeah, immoral.
Mm-hmm.
And all liars shall have their part in the lakes which burn with fire and brimstone, which is the second death.
So let's just stop there for a minute. So somehow there's going to be a new earth. But God said it also has to be a new heaven, right? And I question
Right.
what God does with serial killers, right? I don't want to think that I could go to heaven and me and a serial killer are in the same space, right? And so
Right.
it says, I believe, now that I'm reading this, that there are some sins that are unforgiving. And that God doesn't want the memory of those sins to come through again. God said
Mm-hmm.
in chapter 4, and God will wipe away every tear. There shall be no more death, nor sorrow, nor crying. There shall be no more pain, for the former things have passed. So, when this new earth comes, it feels to me as if it's going to be the real Garden of Eden, what God intended. Like, just being around nice people, just talking, just loving truly thy neighbor, right? And I feel like,
Right.
and I feel like what God is going to do with cowards, unbelievers, abominable people, murderers, sexual immoral people, sorcerers, idolaters, and all liars shall have their part in a lake which burns with fire and brimstone, which is their second death. So to me, it feels like death isn't death. That there are going to be some people set aside for a second death because they can never revisit the earth. Right? You know how we have multiple lives, right, Melissa? I tell everyone, I believe one of my former lives, I was a prostitute or a really good, taker care of men, right? And that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing, right? Because God created sex, right? And so I feel like in this life, I was like, oh, okay, all right, God, prostitution's not allowed, but I really enjoyed it. So in this life, I was like all virtuous and married and all that stuff, right? But I love, the ability to show your body. Like there was a movie that came out called Gypsy Rose Lee. Melissa, I was 8 years old and I saw this movie and I was like, I want to be Gypsy Rose Lee. I can only say that if I had a past history of wanting to show my body, right? And so I feel like when I came back down around, because having multiple sex, that's not the sin, people. There's nothing here that says having too much sex is a sin. What God said was, you know, taking your neighbor's husband, that's emotional sin, right? Not the act of sex.
Right.
Right? And I just want to say this over and over again. Sex is good, people. Sex is good. Sex is good. Learn to enjoy sex, right? But that's not the point. So I feel like I had a life of being much more freer with my body. And then when I came back down again, God was like, you can't do the same thing again. I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, I got it. I'm not going to do the same thing. And so I had memory of that, to not do the same thing, except that when I was 8 years old, I watched this movie called Gypsy Rose Lee, and she was one of the very first strippers, right? And I was like, God, I would love to be a stripper. I was 8. I was like, that's amazing.
Wow.
To tease men with your body. I'd be like, I would love to do that, right? But I had a different commitment here, right? But what if someone is like, came down and was a serial killer? And when you kill people, you remove history, right? So killing is bigger than you and I.
Right.
You remove a whole generation full of history that was supposed to evolve had your dumb ass not come down and decided to serial kill everybody in your neighbor, right? But eventually the serial killer has to die, right? And so when you get up to heaven and it's like, okay, so we got this section over there for the serial killers. So just go there and I'll come back to you later, right? But later means like 50,000 years. We don't know what later means, right? But then God decides to create this new earth. And in the new earth, you can't have people like a serial killer coming through a woman's body because the memories retain, right? Again, I was 8 years old and I watched Gypsy Rose Lee and I was like, I want to be a stripper. Right, Melissa? So imagine if I were a serial killer.
What?
If I were a serial killer coming through my mom's body, the first thing I'm going to want to do is pick up a knife. Ooh, look at the knife. Ooh. You know what I mean? So, so God.
And people think that's cute, seeing a knife, seeing little kids going swinging it.
But it's an internal thing I'm talking about, right? If I'm a serial killer coming back again,
it brings you back to your memory of your past life. Your
past life comes up, and God knows this. So I feel like His new earth is not gonna let people that's done horrific things, right? So the way it's spelled out here, cowards. I don't know how that's a sin, but whatever. But maybe being coward is a sin, because when the people said, "Did you know Jesus?" and they denied it, that's being a coward, right? Maybe there's a form of a sin and cowardness. Okay. Unbelieving, I don't really know what that means, but okay, we'll move on. Murderers, sexual, immoral people. Yeah, that's a fucking problem. That's a fucking problem. Constantly molesting people, raping people. That's a fucking problem. Those assholes should never come back to Earth. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like, the worst memory you can have is of being raped or molested. You change someone's whole structural future. You take something away from them, right? Idolaters, well, hopefully people aren't still idolizing golden monks or something, right? And all liars.
Right.
Come on, God. Like, there are some good lies, God. There are some lies that are good, right? However, He's going to put them in the lake, which burns with fire and brimstone, which is their second death. So that means there are people up in heaven that never get to be reborn. Never. You can't even come through and hope that the mother aborts you. You cannot process and coming through again. Does that make sense? What I'm trying to say.
Oh.
So a good
That makes a
example,
lot of sense.
a good example would be Hitler. Hitler can never come back again.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? If I use Hitler as someone that can never revisit this earth? Am I being too strong, guys?
No, because he erased a lot of history.
Huh?
Right?
What you say?
He erased a lot of history.
Oh, Hitler? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. He killed generations of people. And we know this, but I'm just saying Hitler is the type of person that can never come through a woman's body ever again. And to give an example of what this means, he goes into the lake that burns with fire and brimstone, which is a second death. So you're gone forever. You don't get to revisit.
Nope.
Do you see what I mean?
That's a good example. You know?
Yeah, thank you. I'm trying. You know, it's like the 5 people you meet in heaven, right, Melissa? That book, right? And
right. That book is good.
That book is good. And when you die, you meet people that had an effect on your life, right? And that spiritual people, in your death, you meet spiritual people. That's why people are like, oh, I see my mother, I see my father, right? Whenever you die, when people start saying that, I think my mother came to me last night. Like, oh my God, the grandmother's in the hospital. And you're like, oh shit, this is it, right? You got to listen to what people say because this stuff is true, particularly for people that are dying, right?
True.
And so we meet up with...
Mm-hmm. They always see people.
They always see people, and they always see people from their history, blah, 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 blah. Right? So we know that there's another life beyond here. We know this. And so we go back and we commingle with each other. I once read Embraced by the Light that says, we were all here at the beginning of time. We all communed. We all made promises to meet up with one another. You know, like the book club is no accident, Melissa. Because we all knew each other before Earth. We're just lucky that Zoom brings us together. We're lucky that COVID happened. Right? We're lucky that IG exists, that TikTok exists, for all these metaphysical people to rise, right? But we all knew each other. We all made an agreement to participate in this new world before the new world. We all agreed to participate in a new essence in the middle of COVID. Metaphysical people rose out of COVID, right? But we all knew each other. So someone like Hitler, right? He doesn't get to come back and commingle. Right. He doesn't get to come back and commingle with us. He's not us anymore. He broke his promise with God so bad that he has to go in this fire and he has to have a second death. So I'm not talking about you and I that might lie about something, right? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a disgusting person that does not get to come back here ever again. Does that make sense?
You know, it's like he got swept in a dustpan. You know, like he died on the floor, they swept in the dustpan, and then he got burned. You know?
Uh-huh. Now I'm confused. What happened? Who got burned? I'm like, no.
You know, I was just saying, I was kind of like making like a little joke. You know how I do. I was saying, you know, that it's, you know, Hitler died. They swept him in the dustpan, right?
Uh-huh.
And, you know, he had his second death because, you know, God said, nope, you're getting burned.
Yes.
You know? And it's like almost, you think about it, how they don't get to come back. And he had to go and, the way how he had to go and put a binding spell on the devil, it just makes you feel like, man, I got a lot of work on his hands.
Yeah, and there are certain people in the Bible, right, that can never revisit this earth. Adam and Eve was reduced to dust. They can never revisit this earth. They don't even get to go back into heaven. You understand?
Right.
So,
I understand.
And then there was that other woman, I forget her name, where God was like, don't look back. If I tell you to run, just...
what's her name?
I don't know.
Lilith?
No, Lilith is Adam's first wife that was too strong for him. No, it was that other woman where, I don't know why she was running, but God was like, don't look back. And she did, and she turned to dust.
Wow.
So there's a precedence for God, you know, for this second death, right? This lake of fire.
Right.
Right? Burns with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. Okay, sorry, Melissa. Let's read chapter 9. I'm sorry. I go off on a tantrum sometimes. Lot's wife. Thank you. Musing said it was Lot's wife. He told Lot's wife, don't turn around. The thing was, the phrasing was, don't look back.
Wife.
Yeah. I need to read that over again, Musings, to figure out what that was. Pillar of salt. Thank you, Nita. Right. Adam and Eve became a pillar of salt. They are not in heaven. They cannot be in heaven. God was really mad at these two. And one of the reasons why God is really mad, because they knew better, right? They talked directly to God.
Right.
They knew, like, they could have asked questions like, hey, God, let me tell you something. So the tree that you said don't eat, I got to be honest with you. All I want to do is eat it. Like, how do I work this out? Like, they didn't have to be sneaky, but remember, right? The devil.
Right.
I don't like to call out the devil. Evil was always there.
Yeah, evil. Mm-hmm.
Was always there. Remember, it was this big fight in heaven, and evil got kicked out, and you know, evil was always there, always. And the snake was like, you ain't got to listen to God. You're God. You don't have to listen to God. So, according to the Bible, Eve listened to the snake. But I have, you know me, Melissa, I have a theory about that. I don't believe that Eve listened to the snake. I believe that the Bible was written by men. I believe Adam's dumbass had an affair with the snake. And Eve, because he didn't like Lilith, right? First of all, I kind of believe Adam was gay, but I'm going to upset a lot of religious people if I say that. He didn't like Lilith. Lilith was the first wife. She was like too strong for him. He was like, oh God, I can't take Lilith. She's just too much. All right, fine. Let me bring you somebody else. But I also think Eve was too much for him.
Yeah.
I think Eve was too much. And she was like, boy, you know, God said, don't touch that tree. Don't touch that tree. But you keep going near that tree and talking to the tree, you and that damn snake, right?
Right.
I think Adam had an affair with the snake. I think the way it was written from the beginning of time was to make women always look bad. Always.
I mean, I can see that. So it's kind of like, you know, he basically cheated.
Yes.
Not only that, but he felt more favorable. Oh my God, I can't even say the word. The snake, he felt more sexually attracted to the snake than he did.
He felt companionship and camaraderie with the snake because these two women, oh my God, they're too much. Now, let's cut to 2022, right? Let's cut to 2022.
Right.
And if there's something a woman wants or a man wants, and you're not supposed to have it, a man is going to figure out how to get it. A woman is going to be like, dude, we're not.
That's right.
It's true. It's true. Over the years, women have started acting like men because they've always been this way. And it's like, well, fuck it, nigga. You going to cheat? I'm going to cheat. Fuck you, right? But that's not in our system to cheat. Our system is to stick by our men. Men don't stick by the women, right? And that's in all races, by the way. This isn't like, we're not talking about black folks. We're talking about everybody. So if we look at the way we act today, what the fuck you really think you happened in the Garden of Eden? It wasn't Eve. Women are obedient. It was Adam and that damn snake. What happens when men get together? Oh, they just be like, man, I'll hang out with my boys, right? Do you understand what I mean? They were like boys. They were like boys together. The snake and Adam. All right, and
I'm gonna eat this apple.
I'm going to eat.
This apple. We're gonna eat this apple. Like, who cares?
Right. And then it's very easy to come back home and seduce Eve, right? Because you seduce her sexually, right? Come on, baby. Come on.
Right.
I already picked the apple. Come on. We'll just do this together, you fucking coward, Adam. Can't do nothing by yourself? That shit is wrong.
Nope.
Right? It wasn't that Eve.
Right.
No. Look at who we are today. Women are holding down the forefront, blah, 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 blah. Every race, men cannot stop cheating. Every race.
90 seconds.
They can't help it. And they want to speak.
They're always sneaky about it. Yes. Do you understand? So, all right, Melissa, why don't we stop here? There's no show today, right, Melissa?
Yeah, no show today, but you'll get a show next week.
Thank you. Well, you've got some.
Thank you so much for having me, Tracy. This is so juicy. Like, I'm just like, oh my God, people are gonna be like, you gotta look at the Anunnaki thing today.
Anunnakis, look them up, people. Let's start studying who was here. My door just slammed, so I know I'm validating who was here before us. And
what?
Yep, those pyramids have something to do with the Anunnakis. Sorry. Mind blowing.
I love revelations.
Tracy,
thank you. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you too, Melissa. I mean, the Spirit of God works through all of us, right? And Revelations is
10 seconds.
Helping me to get through COVID, right? And by the way, guys, there's going to be a new earth. There's going to be a new earth. I will see you all in the new earth. I will meet you all in heaven, whenever that time comes. I don't plan on going anywhere until I'm like 99. But my point is, we shall all meet again. Now, if you're a serial killer, there's a special section for you.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're just ordinary Smo Joe trying to survive in this world, we shall meet again. But for right now, we're all here together. So let's be the best together on earth that we could be and help others.
That's right.
All right, Melissa. Thank you. Musings is laughing. I'm gonna look
at
up.
that. You got Monique for laughing.
I know. I'm gonna look up the story of Lot's wife and see why that idiot wound up turning into a pillar of salt. And guys, look up the Anunnakis. Look up the Anunnakis. Let's talk about the Anunnakis next week. And Melissa.
All right.
Oh my God, we're finished.
Yeah.
We're finished with Revelations next week.
Well, there's always some metaphysical we could do. Like, going to do the book.
Yes. We're going to do The Alchemist, people. Get the book, The Alchemist. You can order it online, but let's continue this. We all got to grow. We don't want to be in that section, with the river of fire and brimstone. We don't want to be in that section. Hi, Alexander. No. So let's figure out what's the best way we can be the best people down here. Also, remember, people, sex is good, right? Don't look down on strippers. They have a great purpose in life. I promise you. Don't look down on prostitutes. They have a great purpose. Prostitutes have been here since the beginning of time. God has never wanted to get rid of them. So go ahead with your judgment and all. Nope. I want to be a stripper from age 8. That is some weird shit, Melissa. And I couldn't tell anybody. What was I going to go to my mom and go, you know what I want to be when I grow up? A stripper.
She'd be like, "Bless, go outside, go get me a stick from the bush."
Yeah,
like,
I'm gonna whip your ass. I'm gonna be like, Mom, but I saw the movie Gypsy Rose Lee, and she's beautiful as a stripper. I want to be a stripper. All right, Melissa, let's get up out of here.
All right, everybody, have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend, everyone.
And thanks for joining. Yeah, you too. And I'm glad to enjoy Revelation.
Yes, and guys,
been something to learn.
Don't forget my candles, my candle bundles. This is the health candle. This is the OSHUN candle with the dip of a dot of honey, right? I don't play with my candles, not even with OSHUN. She like honey? Honey goes in the candle. And this one is the sexy chili pepper. How pretty is that, Melissa? I lost Melissa. How pretty is that, guys? I'm loving my own work. All right, guys, I love you, and I will see you hasta next weekend. We're going to finish. Hopefully, we'll finish. We'll start it earlier next week. We'll start it. The minute Melissa comes on, we'll start it. And get your books, The Alchemist. Bye, everyone. Thank you. I love you. Thank you. Bye.
Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Go to Tracey Brown Live. Gals and guys.